So welcome to Family Recovery Essentials. This is session 1 and it's May 15, 2018. So excited to be here with all of you. I love that it's a small class, so we get to have lots of practice. And let's take it away. All right. So if you had a chance to review the curriculum, we're going to do that tonight in each class and then expand upon it. So maybe some of you have heard through the 12 steps, you did not cause the addiction, you can't control the addiction, and you cannot cure the addiction. It doesn't mean that we don't try though. And I like to add, we can't control our loved one and we cannot cure our loved one either. But we really can contribute. And what we're going to do is take a look at how we contribute, because it can look like contributing to addiction or contributing to recovery. And we want to have more on that side, that we're contributing to recovery, not just theirs, but ours. And what that means when we do that is we're connecting with them. And we learn how to communicate effectively with them, not at them. And so each time we do that, it becomes a choice. It becomes a conscious choice to keep choosing our recovery, to keep choosing communication, to do what we need to do to stay connected. And a lot of that is going to be taking care of our fears. Because on the other side of fear is love. And when we're out of our true nature of love, it really hurts. So when you're really hurting, you will probably be able to identify the thoughts that put you in fear. So the good news is you always have a choice. And throughout this course, I'd like to give you tools to choose for you. So this session is about creating calm and taking care of the fears. So it's really a foundational piece. What we're going to do is discover and practice peace, explore breathing techniques, take a look at what language we're speaking. We're going to identify thoughts, and then we're going to practice questioning them. We call that inquiry.
Joni, sorry, it's Barbara. I can see you. I'm logged in. I see you talking, and I see your PowerPoint. Can you see me, or does it matter?
I can't see you. There might be a video option on your bottom left.
Okay, probably not. I just see your screen. So I'll just watch and talk.
Okay.
If you can hear me, because I don't want to hold us up.
Somewhere on there you have a little video, unless, I don't know what iPad can do, honestly.
It's okay. It's
okay. Well, good. I'm glad you can see.
Yeah, I can see you. That's good.
Okay. So has anybody begun to, or does anybody have a gratitude practice established already?
As of 2 days ago.
All right. All right. And how does it feel for you getting started with a gratitude practice?
This is Barbara. I did it a couple years ago, just religiously for about 6 months, and I love it. And so I just moved away from it, and it feels good. I know what it can do. So I'm just starting out barely right now, but I'm doing it 3 or 4 every day for 2 days. That's 8.
Great. Yeah. How about anybody else? Do you have any resistance or hesitancy to begin a gratitude practice? Is it something that you think you can do?
I'm just from taking the class with you before. I'm not writing it down like I should be. I was for a while, but I definitely wake up and try to be conscientious of it.
Great. I will invite and encourage you to make it a formal practice by writing it or recording it, just something that formalizes it and gets it in a concrete form. It's really like sacred time, and the power of doing it formally just increases.
Can I have a quick question about it? Because I noticed, I did my regular one, and then I noticed in your suggestions for us to write what we're grateful for about us. Like, I'm grateful for taking this class, or I smelled a rose today or something. Are those suggested in the 3, like something about us and then something about our what do we want to call them? Our motivator?
Yes.
So about
And
us.
I usually I probably go close to 10 when I'm writing my gratitude. It just comes naturally, and yes. So whatever comes naturally, whether it's 3, 10, 20. If you have a thought for yourself, what you bring to the day, what you bring to your relationships, what you bring to your own life. I would say if you're struggling with your child, to find something that you can be grateful for about them. So I'll read a little bit. The real gift of gratitude is that the more grateful you are, the more present you become. It is really, really hard, if not impossible, for the mind to hold on to gratitude and fear at the same time. So that's what is meant by really becoming present when you're practicing gratitude. So the formal practice of it helps you to become present and to shift into what actually is present in your life and in your relationships. So why gratitude? Because it means thankfulness, counting your blessings, noticing simple pleasures, noticing the silver linings. That's a big one. To even consider the silver linings before they, before hindsight, can really empower your gratitude and your mood. It's about acknowledging the things that you receive and that are already present in your life, and the situations or people that have supported you along the way, and including yourself. Research does show that people who regularly practice gratitude experience more energy, they sleep better, have more positive emotions, express more compassion and kindness, and have improved health and stronger immune systems, less stress, and more resilience. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah. It's a little and powerful thing. And actually, a lot of what we're going to be talking about and practicing, they're little things, but they're very powerful. Oh, I see you.
I just did it.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you. All right.
I never give up.
Okay. So again, to really get the most out of it, and I invite you to write at least 3 things, a new thing each day. And, just really try to stick to it more days than not. I know sometimes, I have the best intentions to do it every day, and there's usually a couple of days that I don't, but I miss it when I don't. So on those days, maybe just talk it out. So, you can even include your insights, your strengths, any growth that you can appreciate about what you've experienced through addiction, through struggles. Really, really take a nice deep look at anything and everything that you can be grateful for. So this is the missing piece of a lot of programs and a lot of courses. It's getting calm and being in the present moment. The fastest way to get into the present moment is to focus on our breath. And that's the fastest way to calm our mind and our body. So I'd like to, I know that some of you actually have a practice, and I'd love for you to share, if you do, what that is and how it works for you. Does anybody consciously breathe?
I do. I always, yeah.
Uh-huh. And how does that feel when you do?
Well, it takes you out, for me, it takes me out of whatever stress I'm feeling. And it makes my mind go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Anybody else? Meditation or breathing?
I have a meditation practice.
Mm-hmm.
And although lately with our assignment here, I noticed, because I'm like in a crisis right now with Garrett, and I started noticing my breathing, like when I'm driving or doing anything, and it's like I'm strangling myself. It's so shallow. So I'm so grateful that you've reminded me. So I now at least 6 or 7 times today, I noticed that I was clenching, and I just breathe deep into my belly and up, and I say something to myself, like when I breathe in, it's like, this I know, like that's the only thing I know. This I know, and I breathe in, and then when I breathe out, this I know. And it really brings me back to what I know, which is only that right then.
Oh, beautiful. Only the breathing is what you know?
Just feeling it on my nostrils, feeling the air, and then exhaling it.
Uh-huh. Beautiful. So the breathing, again, no small thing. The breathing affects your whole nervous system. So it's the parasympathetic nervous system that it helps. And that's almost like a very unconscious part of us. So the deep breathing can reverse symptoms of anxiety. And when you develop the practice, the deeper breathing, the conscious breathing, can bring you faster into that sense of calm in your mind and your body. So when you're just breathing, whether it's deep or just, at least try to go slowly, or just notice the progression of your breath as it goes from shallow or quick to deeper and slower, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, and that automatically reverses the stress response in your body. So when you are at a high stress state, we're releasing our natural hormone called cortisol and adrenaline. That's really great because that helps us, except when we're usually at a high state of stress. Then if we have all this cortisol and adrenaline released, we are actually causing inflammation in our bodies, and that causes illness. So the deep breathing can support your nervous system and then help with your mind and your body, and to release calming hormones. Okay?
I was really surprised how, when I started noticing yesterday, how I was breathing really tight and shallow. I hadn't even any idea that I was doing that. I just knew I've been really anxious and stressed, but like it really completely translates into how I breathe. Like my whole stomach is clenched. And so this has really helped yesterday and today. I hope I continue to do it. I will.
Yeah. So just notice, and notice too, like the body sometimes just automatically and naturally takes care of us. Do you ever notice, like, when you sigh, like, or suddenly you just want to take this really deep breath? So the body knows what it needs. So now when we help it out consciously, it's an added relief and benefit. Okay, so breathing brings us into the present moment. So let's practice some of that. For now, what I'd like you to consider together is there's something called the 4-4-8. I like to do the 4-2-8. The 4-4-8 breathing is when we breathe in for 4 counts, we hold it for 4, and then we breathe out for 8 counts. When I first started doing it, it seemed like the 4 in the middle was a little bit too long for me. So make this your own, the 4-4-8. And the Navy SEALs, I don't know if they created this method or what, but the Navy SEALs use it so that they, when under stress, they know how to access this calmer state of mind and body. So this is something they practice regularly so that when they need it, it's there for them. And so it is for us too. When we practice this, it's there for us when we need it. And it won't be there for us when we need it when we don't practice it. So let's try that here, okay? So I'm going to count it, the 4 in and the 4 holding and out for 8, all right? So let's begin. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that was only 3 cycles. What was your experience of that?
That's good. I think I hold my breath a lot and don't realize it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed with each cycle, I got deeper and deeper. I was allowing myself to breathe deeper. The first one, I was stressed.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But it's very slow. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good way just to focus on yourself.
Yes. Yeah. It's the counting that will bring you right into the breathing and the present moment. So again, make it your own. If it's, you're breathing in for 4, holding it for 2, breathing out for 6. The idea is to really release all your breath on the exhale, to sort of empty it out before you come back for an inhale. So whatever count works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, some people, it doesn't work for them. So let's try some other breathing. You could just breathe naturally and say a mantra. Breathing in, I breathe in calm. Breathing out, I relax into the present moment. Breathing in, I am peace. Breathing out, I share my love. Breathing in, I am present. Breathing out, I am at peace. So if that works for you, find a mantra that instills that calmness in you. And you don't change your breathing at all. You just say your mantra. The other way that you can breathe is to bring all your attention to the actual feel of your breath. noticing the sensations, noticing like what temperature is it when the breath comes through your nostrils, and what is it path, and kind of follow the path of your breath through your nose and down into your chest and maybe your abdomen. And then notice its pathway out and the temperature as it passes through your nostrils or exhaling through your mouth. Even the sound. What sounds does it make when it enters your nostrils? What's the sound of the sigh or the exhale? So bring all your attention to that. And just notice. See how it feels. Enjoy the curiosity about it. The exploring and the allowing of your breath. The other thing, if you are feeling a little bit stressed out, you could do like a blowing out the candles. That's not on here, but you could go.
Joanne, is that the fire breath? Is that?
Well, fire breath is more like it's a quick inhale, quick exhale.
What they teach us when we were having our labor.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's also something that I would use if I'm feeling a little agitated. The other one that can help if I'm feeling tense is the blowing out the candles. So it's like a longer inhale and like you have to blow out 20 candles. And that's a big release.
Ways to breathe. It's good to know.
Yeah. And all of these can either develop a calming practice or help you to calm down in the moment. But the idea is to breathe consciously every day, throughout the day. The other, okay, I think that's on the next thing. You could explore YouTube or any other guided meditation. I do have one, if anyone's interested, that I love. I can send you a link to it. It's about, I don't know, maybe it's a 10-minute. Would anybody be interested in that?
Yes.
I would, yeah.
Okay. And then if you YouTube or Pandora or whatever that other one is, Liquid Mind is just like ambient sound. It doesn't have a rhythm, so it allows your mind not to distract itself on a melody. But Liquid Mind is the group, and the music is just so calming. It's just beautiful.
You told me about that, and I do that. Is there a time that, like, should you set up a certain time during the day where you try to do that?
Whatever works for you. Yes. If that works for you to have a schedule and hold yourself to it, then I would say yeah. Otherwise, just enjoy it. Just explore. Like, oh wow, today I'm going to listen to some Liquid Mind, or it's either the breathing. I encourage you to practice it throughout the day. One or a few of these techniques so that you can figure out, well, what do I enjoy? What feels good? This is all about feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
So you are breathing anyway. It's automatic. I would encourage you to breathe consciously in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. Maybe right when you wake up, when you're having a lunch, and when you go to sleep at the very least. So just explore these techniques. And then notice that you're going to have thoughts. you're going to have distractions. There are going to be sounds. There are going to be disruptions. And that's all part of it. So just notice it. Just allow everything to be what it is. You don't have to shut off your thoughts. They're supposed to be there. I don't think you could stop them pride. So just let them all be there. The other thing that you could do with your breathing is during transitions. Like if you're just walking from one room to the next room, let's say in the morning, well, my routine is I wake up, I go to the kitchen. So that's like, okay, walking to the kitchen and breathing. I'm walking and breathing. I get in my car, I'm driving and breathing. So little reminders like that, if you need to put index cards around or put a note on your phone or little stickies, just anything that's going to remind you, oh, right, breathing.
That's good.
The other thing that gets you into the present moment is to really analyze an object. So they have a raisin technique or a strawberry technique where you take a strawberry and you analyze it. It's just really noticing what is it, what's the color, what does it look like, what does it feel like, what does it smell like, then what does it taste like. You could do it with a flower, a leaf, tree bark, a candle. You can do it with anything. You know, what's the shape of this paper? What's its color? What is it used for? It's just to really bring your mind to the present moment so that you get in the realization that you can use your mind and come out of its obsession and come out of its overwhelm and come out of its imagination when you practice the breathing into the present moment and practice present moment techniques. I'll let you read on the PDF about the morning walk. Essentially, you could do it anytime, but essentially it's just walking as if you've never really seen anything before, and so you're noticing your stories about it, and then just to come back to just naming it one thing. For me, when I do this, it takes me at least half an hour to like be in the exercise, or maybe 20 minutes. But it's just silently walking and noticing, and just bringing your mind to tree.
Yeah.
And noticing, oh, that's a tall tree. Oh, it's losing its leaves. Oh, it's really sunny today. Oh, look at that person walking in front of me. Oh, right. Tree. And that's a nice way to just get into the present moment and just walk. Okay. So any questions about those?
You like labeling the items like a tree or bird, or do you want us to just say notice and just not even be attached to what it is? Like if we notice something.
Yeah, actually the whole exercise is just about noticing.
Just saying notice, because like if I say tree, then I start talking in my head like what kind of tree, and does it have pine cones, and maybe that's not present, because then I start going out into other wonderings.
Well, that is the exercise, because we do walk around labeling most things.
Yeah.
Car. Yeah. Well, my son doesn't even have a license.
Right. So just noticing.
Okay, car. That kind of thing. Yeah. So are we still all here together?
Yes.
Lisa, Liz?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
How is this all sounding? Like a lot?
No, it sounds good.
Okay. All right. So here's a little exercise I'd like for you to do with some paper and pen. To write down your thoughts to this invitation. So in this course, everyone here got what they wanted except you. So what happened? How did you show up in this course that contributed to you not getting what you wanted? Why did you not get what you want?
So is this,
And write down your reasons why you did not get what you wanted out of this course.
so the premise is we're in this course and we didn't get what we wanted.
Yes, everyone else did except you.
Okay.
So what happened and why, how did you show up that you did not get what you wanted?
Are we supposed to feel like we didn't get something?
It's
Because I don't feel that.
It's the imagination exercise. It's just to start to write down your thoughts. Notice what thoughts. So
Right.
everyone
Okay.
got what they
Yeah.
wanted except you. Why is that?
Goes into self-deprecation. It's like, well, of course, I'm the only one that didn't get what I wanted because I don't think like other people.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes. Like mine would be, I didn't do the exercises. I didn't participate.
That's one too. Yeah.
I didn't come to all the classes.
Mm.
I didn't ask questions. Okay, does everybody have a list?
I have a sentence.
One sentence?
I'm having a hard time with this one.
Okay, so everyone got what they wanted except for you. How did that happen? What was your contribution to that happening? I caved to my insecurities. I didn't download the material.
That's what I wrote.
I'm on to you, Deb.
I know.
No, I'm only kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
You have some?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I invite you to read that back to yourself.
Okay.
Turn the list to the opposite, directly to the opposite. So if it was, I caved to my insecurities, I met my insecurities and I worked through them. I did download the material. So with the same list that you have, this is why I got the most out of this workshop, because I turn your list to the opposite.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, so now you have a really good guide from your own inner wisdom about how you can proceed in this course.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to be doing a lot of that, is really accessing your inner wisdom as a guide for you. Okay, here's a little thing to do. I'd like you just to get relaxed where you are and just breathe. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it's the worst ever, recall a stressful situation of about a 7, a 6 or 7, as you breathe. Everyone have one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as you're recalling your stressful situation and notice your breathing, what is the problem here and now if you are not attached to your thinking?
Well, there wouldn't be a problem, but I am attached to my thinking, and I clench when I'm thinking of that situation, even though it's not happening right now. I can feel it. I'm sweating already.
And when you're breathing and you're not attached to your thinking, where is the problem?
Well, it wouldn't be there because you can only, I don't think you can focus on your breathing and be attached to your thinking.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
So that's, I mean, in just one moment, you feel the whole culmination of what we just discussed. Okay, so you can do this one really, really quick exercise if you feel yourself getting really anxious and moving way into the stress of a situation and into your imagination. Just breathe however your breath comes up and begin to ask yourself, if I'm not attached to my thinking, where's the problem here and now?
Like if I don't buy into my thinking, like if I don't believe the scary thing that scared me.
Yeah.
Because we're looking back on it anyway.
Yeah. In the here and now, where's the problem?
It's not. It's fine. My dog's right here. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, like Joanne sitting in a chair looking at computer. The world could be falling apart outside, but I wouldn't even know it. Okay. So notice too, like what language do we speak? Do we speak hope or do we speak disappointment? What kind of stories are we telling about ourselves, our children, our lives, our futures, their futures? Because this is really coloring our internal world, and it has the power to color the external world, and it comes with energy. So the words that you speak have immense power. It's not to like sugarcoat or anything, but it is to just notice, what am I saying? I notice for me, sometimes I used to like really focus on everything negative. And I used to tell people like all the my weaknesses and what I'm doing wrong, and I'm just insecure. And I mean, my mom and my sister were like, we can't even stand you anymore. You're so negative. But then I realized after a while, it's like I'm gossiping against myself.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to convince me and other people that my world sucks.
I can't even imagine you being like that, Jen.
I know. It's not like it was all the time, but it was enough. Like I can barely break out of this negative cycle because it becomes habitual. It becomes the way we learn to hear ourselves.
Or the way we've always been and our family is. And
Exactly.
Who we are.
Exactly. My family my parents tend to look for like someone's ulterior motive that wasn't always so nice. And it's like, I can't even follow you anymore. I don't even know. Like, how do you go there? But yes. So it's just really noticing, what stories are we telling? So for instance, I remember people saying, how's your son? You know, he's doing okay. He's figuring out his life. He was homeless,
Mm.
but he's figuring out his life. So I could tell that story,
Yeah.
or I could say, yeah, you know, it's horrible. He's on the streets and I'm afraid he's going to die and da da da. And it's just telling this whole story. And it's like, I don't even want it. I know that's happening, but I can use different language. I can use hopeful language, which could just possibly be true.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
both, if they're both true, besides the like the extrapolation that you put on it, like he's miserable, he's homeless, but the truth is he's homeless and he's figuring out his life. Yeah, I'm have trouble with the truth. I'm in a trouble with the truth space. Like,
Well,
know what I'm
what is the truth that if he's homeless and he's miserable, I don't know.
you don't know that, right?
I don't know that. I can't see him.
Yeah.
He could be happy that someone just gave him a whole sandwich.
Yeah.
He could be like thrilled.
Yeah.
Well, they could be homeless and be just fine with it.
Yes, that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We have to be careful with what we say.
Yeah.
For power.
Yeah. So, can you recall when someone criticized you harshly?
Yeah.
Did it feel uncomfortable?
Yeah.
And did you believe what they said sometimes?
You betcha.
Uh-huh. You didn't do it right. You're not good at that. You sound ridiculous. You're wrong. You look awful. You know, that's going to make you sick. And that's
Or even if I didn't believe it,
right.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. But oftentimes we start to believe it.
Yes.
And when we hear it repeatedly, you know, you're no good at that. We can believe it and then get stopped in our tracks. And we don't think to ever ask ourselves, what am I believing? What am I saying to myself? Now it doesn't matter what they say to me. I'm saying it to me. I'm not good at that. Well, maybe I'm good enough. Well, but I don't know. I don't know because I just stopped. Because I'm listening to my story. I'm listening to the language. So we turn against ourselves. And when we turn against ourselves, it's usually, you know, not a far cry before we start turning against somebody else. But it's unconscious. That's what happens. But again, this is really about bringing some attention to notice what language are we speaking here. Language can lift you up or it can bring you right down. And it can bring other people down too. Even a question like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? That's very disempowering, right?
Right.
A different way of saying it is, you know, I notice you're doing this. Tell me about that. How does that feel for you?
Mm-hmm. We're going to learn those communication skills, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's not come natural.
Yeah.
So
start to see what stories do you tell? What language do you use to tell your stories? How often are you telling? How many people are you telling? Is it really necessary to tell 10 people? Because you are listening and you are contributing to disempowering and creating very heavy energy in yourself, or leaving some space to be able to take care of it.
It's really good because I am listening.
Yeah. So again, just start to notice this stuff.
Because sometimes it feels good, like when my son is not doing well, it feels good to tell that sad story, to kind of complain about it, because in some ways I want the attention, but at the same time, though, I really don't know how he's doing or what he's doing. So I hear what you're saying.
So you could more accurately tell your story, like, you know,
I just,
I'm imagining this. I really don't know, and I'm just venting here because I don't want to hold it all in. That would be really honest, right?
right. Instead of weaving this tragic tale that that my worst fear,
Yeah.
and I don't really know.
And the thing of it is, it's really insidious because this is how we relate to one another.
Yes, it is.
This is how we bond.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's what.
I just invite you to notice how often you're bonding like that and to what degree.
Yes.
Okay.
Because yes, we support one another, and it's not to hold all this in. That's not, that wouldn't be healthy. But I know that there's a certain point at which I share my stories because it feels good for me to vent, but there's also a certain point at which it no longer feels good, and I'm creating a whole lot more drama for myself.
Okay.
Because now I'm telling like everybody I'm talking to, and it removes my opportunity to start working through my story.
God, that is so interesting. Creating more trauma for myself by repeating the scary thing that may or may not even still be scary.
Mm-hmm.
Re-traumatizing every single time.
Yes, that's what we do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I might not tell my family, but I might go to my group on Facebook. But isn't that, I mean, that would be like kind of going to Al-Anon, right?
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
So I'm sharing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's great to share because look, we need a lot of support, and part of our giving and receiving support is by sharing. It's just start to notice what language you're using when you share and how often you're sharing the same story. Just start to become aware of what's happening in you when you do that.
Oh, a lot of times I'm like, why did I do that? I just caused myself more trouble.
Yeah. I know for me, when I tell, when I sometimes I gossip about my son. I gossip about his past.
Yes.
I assume things about him when I cannot see and hear what's going on. And I might talk to 5 different friends about it. I might share it in my meeting. I might write about it. And it doesn't feel good.
You don't do it, Joanne, but I do it. I'm going to stop.
I just noticed that I'm keeping my son. I'm not seeing him in higher potential. I'm not acknowledging possibility. I'm not acknowledging his what he has achieved, even the small achievements. It's kind of like, oh, you know, the payoff for it is that I get attention, and I think that I'm getting compassion.
Yeah, compassion.
But I'm not giving my son compassion, and at some point it's no longer supportive for me.
I'm guessing that we humans, we moms, kind of know this in our hearts. And I'm going to say because I had a sponsor in Al-Anon, and I let her go because for 2 years, all she was doing was saying bad stuff about her son. And it just made me heartsick. I couldn't trust her because she had this cloud of negativity that I didn't feel safe telling my stuff because it was always like a one-upping thing. So I understand what you're saying. And this is news to me.
Yeah. See, that's the power of language.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What story do we tell about our child?
Shit.
What story do we tell about ourselves?
Boy, that's good. I need to hear this.
We create identity. We give identities to people, and it's hard. You know, when we get in this habit, we need to break the habit if we're to feel any better. If we're to feel some hope, if we're to feel a connection, we language, what stories we tell is a way to rebuild a different connection.
I think we're going to be pretty quiet.
Right. Okay, so Don Miguel Ruiz, there's this great little book called The Four Agreements. It has everything to do with ourselves, and it is applicable to addiction, but it's not specifically about addiction. So
It's a great book.
yeah, it's a great little book. I love this one. Any judgment against yourself or really anybody else exists only when we say yes to it. It does not exist when we say no to it. I love that. So it's about just being responsible and noticing, raising our awareness to what language we're using. He writes, we must begin to understand what the word is and what the word does. If you understand this concept, be impeccable with your word. You begin to see all the changes that can happen in your life. Changes first in the way you deal with yourself, and then later how you deal with others, especially those you love the most. So impeccable with your word means, assumptions, expectations, blame, even guilt. Our own guilt is against ourselves. So when we use different language and we tell different stories, it really is going to make a difference. So this is a great slide in your PDFs about what is supportive language and what is not, and how you can replace your language. I choose, using the word I choose is a really powerful, like, oh, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. I choose not to do it. I choose to do it. I can. Let's say, I would say I can't run 10 miles. I choose not to run 10 miles. It's kinder on my body. I can work up to 10 miles, or I can choose not to run 10 miles. I can run around the block. But I'm telling a different story of what is possible. Not speaking against myself in the process. It's sort of like affirmations, but this is noticing what language we use to tell our stories, because we all have stories, that's what we do. That's how we speak to each other. The story is, whatever our interpretation is, whatever our history is, whatever our assumptions are, whatever our projections are about the future, that's all story. Who we think we are, who we think other people are, that's all a story. Okay. Any questions so far?
No, that's good though. I'm changing my personality.
Yeah. Okay, so now this is the nitty gritty. To really identify thoughts. Our thoughts create the fear. Fear is usually anything that doesn't feel good. It's anxiety, it's depression, anger, guilt, shame, it's resentment. And the opposite of fear is love. It's not even the opposite, because fear is actually partnering with, or love is partnering with fear. So it's not like one is bad, one is good. It's just, okay, yes, fear exists. We're human. We have a mind. We have an ego. Okay, there's fear, but there's also love. And love has been studied to be the most powerful energy source on the planet. I don't know if you've seen these research studies where you have water or a plant and you talk negative words to it, it gets dirty, or the plant starts to wither and brown and eventually die. So, but when people speak love into water, it changes the actual molecules in the water. And when you speak to a plant, it flourishes. So this is, again, it's what language are we speaking? Because we feed ourselves this, we feed our lives. This is how we nurture our hearts, our minds, and our bodies, our love for others. So when you're in a state of love, you will feel calm, peace, connection, patience, kindness, forgiveness. And you can begin to drop the conditions. Conditions will bring fear. Love does not have conditions. Pure love is just love. When we have a condition, now we have a want. And when we have a want, or a should, or a need that something outside should change, then we move into anxiety and depression and these other emotions. But when we're present with exactly what is happening and move into our heart without condition, that's love. Love you just the way you are, as you are, in this moment. That's it. That's the whole story. And this calming practice, our language, all of this contributes to getting to that state of love.
You know, Joanne, from taking your class before and learning all this, I tried to take all that and apply it towards my son, which made a huge difference in our relationship. I just need to apply it. I need to give it away to other people too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's okay. So it's really just allowing it, that compassion for you. And actually, you don't need to unless you want to, unless it feels truer for you.
Right.
But, what we can do is work through those thoughts, your judgments about them. And that's how we come into love.
Sometimes it feels like the fear is so much more powerful or alluring, or it's so alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then the love takes calm and peace. And it's just, I don't know how. Okay, it's a story I'm telling myself. I'm going to figure out how to access the love on a daily basis, because the only time I can really find it is if I go on like a meditation day out by the beach or something, and that's a whole big to do. I want to be able to find it, that calm in the face of all this fear that drives me every single day about my son.
Well, language, present moment, breathing, and we're going to turn our thoughts around.
We're getting there.
Yeah. So notice, though, you are really not your thoughts. They come from nowhere. We might be triggered, but we cannot control our thoughts. I don't think there's anyone on the planet who can say, I'm not going to think. I'm not going to have that thought ever again. I don't know where these thoughts come from, but they just happen. But you can try to change them. You can try to distract yourself. You can try to pray them away. But do you notice that they just come right back sometimes, right? They're like a raindrop, and we're not in control of, when it rains and how hard it rains. So instead, we can be the observer of all of this. That's why this noticing is a big word here. Observing it, because you are the one who can notice and identify these thoughts and then question them. Okay? So with your paper and pen, and this was part of your homework if you got to it, and if not, I invite you to write some thoughts to this. My child is addicted, and it means that.
Yeah.
What does it mean? And just in short, simple sentences, what does it mean that your child is addicted? I said his life is ruined. He's never going to be happy. I lost him. My family is destroyed.
Yeah.
I can't handle this.
This is all on my list. I'm losing my mind. I don't know what's true. He's hurting all of us. I don't know how to love him. I don't know how to trust him. I'm stuck. There's a lot more, but I'll leave it at that.
I love how you got them nice and short. Would anybody else like to read your list?
Mine's just one sentence. It means sadness.
It means what?
Sadness.
Oh, yeah.
Liz or Lisa?
My child has a criminal record. I have my child is addicted. It means that his life will be difficult.
Mm. So, Liz, did you say he has a criminal record?
No, that was Lisa.
Lisa. So we could go even deeper on that. He has a criminal record, and it means what?
That he can struggle getting a job.
He'll struggle. Okay. So let's pick one of these. I'd like to pick one that we can all relate to. They'll struggle. Their life will be difficult. I'm stuck. They're not to be trusted. Any of those?
I like the they're not to be trusted. I worked with that one. I said I may never trust them again. Or they're not to be trusted, if that's like right currently.
So he can't be trusted.
Yeah, I wrote I may never trust him again, but I think my child is addicted. It means that he can't be trusted. That's also true, yes.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody else have that belief?
I do.
Yeah.
Lisa and Liz, you do?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just put it in the they. They can't be trusted. And you will, the they is for your child specifically.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now here's the downloads. We will be working with these worksheets. Oh my gosh, I didn't put the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet on it. Okay, I'm going to have to get you that too.
But these were thorough. This gave us everything for the exercise.
Yeah.
One belief at a time. That was good.
Yeah.
And the instructions.
Yes. Okay, so I'll get you the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet because we will be working with that. Maybe I might have put it on a different slide.
I think
okay, so
email.
With the this is the work of Byron Katie. This is one method that I'll share with you about your beliefs, your belief processing. There's no right or wrong. You can't give a wrong answer. You can't do it wrong. The invitation is to notice what answers arise and just to get still and allow them. If there is a motive, it's to just find answers that could be just as true or truer, and to just try on the question and see what answers come up. Just try it on. They're your answers. No one can tell you what your answers are. We might come up with some answers that are your answers as well, but this is an exercise for you to ask you. Because remember, we went back to other people saying, hey, you're no good at that. And then we didn't ask ourselves and we simply believed it. Yeah, I'm no good at that. So this is a chance for you to, this is a way for you to ask you and to see what is possible if you're not believing the thought as the only truth in the world.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's 4 questions. Is it true? It's a yes or no. Can I absolutely know that it's true? That is a yes or no. How do I react when I think that thought? It's just notice. How do you live in the world? How do you treat them? How do you treat yourself? What identities do you give you? Do you give them? What does it cost you to believe that thought? Is there a function to the thought? We call it the payoff, the function of the dysfunction.
Yeah.
Things like that. How do you feel in your body when you believe that thought? What emotions do you feel? Is believing this thought bringing you peace or stress? And then the second question is, who would you be without the thought? And this is just to notice, because you're not your thoughts. You use your imagination with all this, how do you react, with all the images that you might see. So now this is be the observer of you, of your, the one you're judging, without the thought, and just see what happens. And then we turn the thought around, and I'll walk you through that. Okay? So the work is not about shame and blame at all. It's not about proving that you're the one in the wrong or forcing yourself to believe that someone else is in the right. The power of the turnarounds lies in the discovery that everything you think you see on the outside is really a projection of your own mind, your thinking. And once you've learned to go inward for your own answers and opened yourself up to the turnarounds, you'll experience this for yourself. In discovering the innocence of the person you judged, you'll come to recognize your own innocence.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's compassion.
We are putting our stories on everything based on what we think and what we attach to. The thing is, some of it might not be all the truth. The truth will set you free when you find it. So this is a way to look for it. Okay. So let's question the thought, they can't be trusted. And I invite you to find a situation where you believed, you know what? Boom, you just did or said that, you cannot be trusted. So try to stick to that one situation.
Okay.
Mine was a phone call. My son was all nice until I said no. And then he turned on me. So I didn't think that he could be trusted to have an adult conversation at the very least.
Mine was when I thought he'd been sober for a year, and then I walk around the corner and I see him using in his car.
Yes. Good one. Anybody else? What's your situation? What's the moment where you can't be trusted? Does everybody have one?
Oh gosh.
And it's, you know, it's okay to go general. Like, you know, there's so many situations, they just can't be trusted. Okay. So is it true they can't be trusted? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Well, yes. Yes, it's true, but we can't absolutely. I was jumping ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm
so,
fast.
yeah, I found when I first, it's like when I'm in the moment, no, he cannot be trusted. And can you absolutely know it's true?
No.
They can't be trusted.
No,
No.
we can't absolutely know anything
So
about
just notice where your no comes from.
Yeah.
Just quietly notice if it's a no. And a yes is fine too. 2 yeses are fine. So how do you react and what happens when you believe the thought they cannot be trusted? I
get
try to correct him.
I just implode.
I have images of all the other times, not all the, but many times where I felt betrayed and tricked. I convince myself like never, ever, ever again, this person will never change.
It's crushing. It's like it hollows you out. Your body just feels so weak and shaky. Even if, when I believe this thought that my son, my precious boy, can't be trusted with the truth. Really
Yeah.
bad. Physically, it's horrible.
Yeah, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm humiliated, I'm disgusted. My heart hurts.
Physically, yes.
What's the payoff for believing the thought they can't be trusted?
I got one. Should I be quiet?
What's the payoff?
I have one, but am I talking too much? It's Barbara.
No, go ahead. Everybody just chime in.
Okay, because the payoff, I figured out, it was pretty interesting. It's like a protection. Because if I say I can never trust this kid again, then I'm protected. Because if I ever do trust him again, then this crushing disappointment will happen. So it really pays off to tell myself this negative story about him, because it's like a form of like a wall it's a made up story, but it's something that I'm using to not get weak again and believe him again and get hurt again, because it's been so many times.
And is that payoff actually working?
No, it's horrible. I don't want to live like that.
So just feel it. Feel the nonsense of the payoff. It's not working.
It's made up. It's like a pretend wall made
But
of
what
nothing.
does it cost you to believe this thought they can't be trusted? It cost me my whole future relationship with my son.
It cost me everything. Now that's the story, but it's exaggerated. But yes, it costs me my whole future relationship with him. Yeah.
And who do you become when you're believing the thought they can't be trusted?
I'm living in fear. I'm not coming from love. I'm just scared.
And I'm very superior.
Sorry?
I'm very superior when I believe that thought.
Yeah.
I put myself above him.
Yep.
Because I know how he should be acting. I know how he should be. I'm the one in charge of him.
Yep.
Yeah, there is an arrogance in that, huh? Because you create a child and bring it into this world, and they have to be a certain way that we think, which is honest.
I have him pigeonholed.
Right.
And I come with the energy of shaming.
Really?
Well, the energy is like, oh, you can't be trusted. Like, yeah, I've got you figured out, and you there's very little redemption in this moment right now.
So you think it's shaming over the protection that I'm telling myself I'm protecting myself by saying I can never trust him again. It's also I get it, the superior shaming thing.
Well, for me, it's like I don't say it, but I'm disgusted.
Well, it's like we're condemning them, and that's just going to be who they are to us. And if we let them think that, they're going to feel that way for the rest of their life.
Not good.
Well, even if it's not said, I know that my son can feel my energy. He feels that disgust. He feels that disappointment, and I'm probably shaking my head like I can't believe what you're saying or doing.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I do that, especially now. I do that. I'm just looking at him with these eyes like, really? You're trying to say that you're working the steps? Really?
Yeah.
Like that. It just doesn't help anybody. You're right. I'm putting myself above it.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
terrible.
So they can't be trusted. Take a look at your situation where they said or did whatever they did. We're not changing the situation. We're not pretending that reality is not that. And who would you be if you observe yourself from the outside looking in? Who would you be without the thought they can't be trusted?
Gosh, I just realized I do that to all sorts of people.
I'd be vulnerable and unsafe without that thought.
I would slow down, like, whoa, what am I hearing here? What am I hearing? What am I seeing? Something feels very off to me. I don't like the way he's speaking to me. I breathe because it is off. I breathe. It's like, whoa. What's
I'm
happening
confused.
there? So my antennas are up. I'm moving into myself
Without the thought.
without the thought they can't be trusted. I know something's off. I'm uncomfortable. I'm seeing that, and
But what if that's not true?
well, we're not there. It's
Oh,
who would you be without the thought? Without the thought in that same situation, who would you be?
Oh. I didn't get it. Sorry. Okay.
So who would you be without the thought? This is a real departure from attaching to our thinking.
Oh,
If you just become
so
observant,
good fun.
what is possible without that thought? I am very clear that I absolutely do not trust what I see and hear, and I'm not going to join it. I become pretty clear on that. I am not joining that. When my son starts to scream and verbally abuse me, I'm going to handle it differently than joining it.
Wow.
The fact of the matter is, what I am is trusting what I see and hear. That's what I'm doing. That's who I'd be.
That's PhD.
And I'd be very careful not to flip out, because it's like almost like, oh, I've been here before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm not so surprised, but I'm not holding it against him from the past or the future. Okay. One situation.
No past, no future, just what you see now. No thoughts that I can never trust him again, just what you see. And if you believe something's off right here and now, then you can own that.
Without the thought.
Without the thought.
That's who I'd be without the thought that they can't be trusted. It's like, oh, okay, what's right in front of me? I'd be, what's in front of me? This is what I'm going to deal with right here, right now.
So hold on. Can I just ask once? I'm sorry. I'm putting too much in this, but like when I look at him and he's clean, I still get so scared that he's using. So like, how do I know what's right in front of me? I'm questioning my reality right now. So if he
Well,
looks fine, I
so
believe.
in that moment when you're looking at him without the thought he can't be trusted,
And he looks fine.
he looks, so you're
Okay.
someone who's seeing he looks fine.
And he probably is.
So, well, I don't know. It's not about him. It's about you. So who would you be when you're looking at him and you are also thinking that he looks fine? Who would you be without the thought he can't be
Oh,
trusted?
then I'd just be sane.
So you'd be sane.
Yeah.
And what else? How do you treat him without the thought he can't be trusted?
Interested and curious and happy and connected. I would be fine with him. If I look at him and I don't have that fear behind my eyes and I see him and he looks great, I think that I could just be back to my normal self before this whole mess started 4 years ago. I would just
Okay,
trust.
so I heard that you would be in the here and now, and now you're moving to 4 years ago.
Yeah, that keeps coming back.
Okay, so
Okay.
now let's say he's high, and it's pretty clear that he's high. Who would you be without the thought he can't be trusted? And he's high.
Well, I've accused him then. I look at him and his pupils look big and I'm just like, you can't be here if you're high.
And who does that make you?
A policeman, that's not very nice. By the
It's
person
not
that has
nice. Is that
I've
true? It's not nice.
not nice.
You just said your pupils are dilated. You can't be here when you're high.
And then he'll say, I'm not high.
Oh, I hear you, and I see that your pupils are dilated.
Well, Mom, it's dark in here.
Well, I believe what I see in here.
Okay, I have to get there. That's really important to believe what I see in here.
Yeah.
Those are my perceptions, my reality, my what is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love you, and I see your pupils are dilated. Your eyes are glassy, and you're slurring your words.
Right, I get it. Okay, that's reality versus saying that you can't be trusted. That's this whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's turn the thought around. They can't be trusted. They can be trusted. How is it possible that they can be trusted?
How is it possible? Well, it just, because that's anything goes in any moment. It's a new beginning. So if I start this new moment with he can be trusted, then that's just what it is.
So I can trust the moment.
Yeah.
I can trust what I see and hear in the moment.
Yeah.
They can be trusted.
My stomach. I don't know.
So for me, they can be trusted to be untrustworthy. I have not developed trust for my son.
That's exactly, they can be trusted to be.
I trust him to be what he is. I don't know. I don't know what that will be. I trust him to tell me his interpretation of things.
Yeah, this is good. I trust him to be who he is.
And
right.
I may not agree with his interpretation of things. And I trust him to, for lack of a better terminology, again, this language thing, I trust my son to want what he wants and take the easy way to get it, like most of us might. I trust that about him. He can be trusted. If his dad is going to give him money and enable him, I trust that he's going to go to his dad and not me. I can trust that.
Yeah.
I don't need to argue with it. I can just trust that, well, why wouldn't he do that?
This is crazy. So just trusting the reality of what we see and what we know.
What you see here.
See and hear.
Because what we know might not be. So what are you actually seeing and hearing as a fact? And that fact can be what you know, so that you can trust them as they show up. I trust my son to show up however he's showing up. That I can trust. I don't know what that's going to look like or sound like, but I can trust that. He can be trusted. He can be trusted that he is choosing his own way.
Yeah.
His own way, his own time. He's not giving me a say. He's not giving me a vote. He can be trusted about that. And you know, too, I also choose, he can be trusted. I choose to believe him when he says he loves me.
Oh, I would love that. I would so love that.
I choose to believe that.
I believe.
And it's okay if we're wrong. Because that feels right to believe him when he sounds earnest. It feels right in my heart to believe him. I want to believe.
Well, if it feels peaceful, like, why would you not believe that he loves you?
Yeah.
Simply because someone's addicted and confused and in pain doesn't mean they don't love. You know, I mean, really, we are created as love. It's our true nature. It's who we are under the layers of all of our dust, no matter what kind of dust it is. I can trust that. That feels peaceful. So, I can't be trusted. That's another turnaround. I cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
I can't be trusted to really know the truth all the time.
That's where I am right now. Yep.
I can't be trusted not to believe what I'm thinking. I can't be trusted not to have moods. I can't be trusted that I'm not going to react. Or I can be trusted that I'm going to react.
That's funny.
I can. I can't be trusted that I can't be trusted either. You know, sometimes what kind of little white lies do we say?
Right.
What kind of assumptions do we make? What kind of projections about the future do we make? How do we color the past? Are we really that trustworthy?
No.
Have we all said things that we wish we could take back?
Yep.
How trustworthy?
The assumptions are just ridiculous.
Yeah, but with compassion, it's like, well, of course we're assuming, and now we're figuring out what to do with them.
Tell me, what's the point? What's the purpose of turning it around? These turnarounds I find so fascinating, and I want to understand why we're doing it.
The turnaround, when you find your own specific, genuine examples, it's an opportunity to see something different than what you originally believed.
Broadening.
It's a way to see other truths that might be possible within the same situation. So what is within your sphere of management? What's within your locus of control? Mm-hmm. Their trustworthiness or your own?
My own. Hopefully.
Yeah. So until we work on our own level of self-trust, am I treating myself well? Am I compassionate to myself? Do I love me? Do I take care of me?
Mhm.
Am I working through my fears? Am I breathing? Am I watching my language? Can I trust me? Can I trust me with my dear self? Because until I can do that, what business do I have trying to control their trustworthiness?
Dang.
Can I just do that? Because that's hard enough.
Yeah.
So when I get a better handle on trusting me, trusting my calmness to respond, trusting what I see and hear in the moment, breathing calmness into that, can I trust myself to reconnect with love? Can I trust myself to question my fears? Now I can really see, oh, honey, I love you and I trust what I see and hear.
That's the point. We just have to trust ourselves.
Yeah.
And to do that, we do these steps: breathing, slowing down,
Yeah.
noticing.
And I can trust everybody to be exactly the way they are.
Right.
And I'm not in control of that. But I can meet it when I develop the trust for my own mental interpretations, for my own level of calm, for the way I communicate. Then I can develop trust and show up as someone more trustworthy to show up calmly, skillfully. I can try to do my own connecting. I can't control whether they connect with me or not, but I can stay connected.
Yeah.
When I start to develop that kind of trust, now I am empowered.
It's empowering to trust yourself, trust your perception.
Yes. Can I trust myself to do my daily gratitude? How do I show up in my own? You know, the best laid intentions.
You're right. We all have good intentions.
Yeah, and it's fine. I mean, you know, but this is where compassion comes in.
Yes.
I know for me, you know, I say every day, I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to eat super healthy today, and I'm not drinking enough water. And you know, it's like, did I really need to have those pretzels, or you know,
We do our best. That's the thing. That's the practice. We do our best.
yeah, we do our best, and so are they.
Yes.
So you see how difficult it is for them to be trustworthy.
Yes.
It's really, really hard.
But they're doing their best.
They're doing their best. So our job is to just meet them where they're at, as they are, and trust ourselves to connect with them and take care of what we need to take care of. Not condone, not enable, not deny. Figure out what our house rules are, what our personal rules are. Communicate these things. And when we develop that trust for our own skills, we create a different energy and a different relationship with our kids.
And it's baby steps. We start with breathing.
Yes, and then they learn to trust us. They learn to trust that our no means no.
Right. Because personally, I didn't trust I knew I'd cave on my boundaries always.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Nobody.
And they learn to trust that, you know, when we say no, it's a no.
Yeah.
Say yes, it's a yes. And when we say maybe, they trust us, I'll get back to you.
Right.
And now they're trusting us to be a safe place.
First, we have to trust ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Skip that whole step.
But also to trust that we are going to be inconsistent.
Yeah. That's right.
Hmm.
And that we're doing our best. And
Yeah, to trust that we are going to be very imperfect,
That's right. Like they are.
just like them. We have a lot in common.
This is so love forward, so love based.
Yes. So you see how it's very hard to get out of our own obsessive thinking.
Yeah.
And that's how hard it is for them to get out of their obsessive using and their own thinking. There's a lot of this going on in the world.
Yeah.
So it starts with us. We're the ones.
Yes.
Okay, so until it's lived, self-realization has no power. This self-realization is how we trust ourselves and what we do to just develop a little bit more. So,
Good.
so your homework is to develop your daily practice of conscious breathing. Take a look at the slides again to get some ideas if you need that. And develop a daily gratitude practice. Again, if not every day, most days. Explore some guided meditation. I'll send you that link for one of them. And just notice. Notice your language. Notice your, how you tell your story. Reframe it if you'd like. Just explore it. Have fun with it. And your homework partner, please use inquiry, the 4 questions and the turnarounds to question at least one thought. And I'm going to send you, by tomorrow, I'm going to send you your homework partners. And you have the facilitation guide, but I'll send that again. The facilitation guide will just follow the 4 questions. You don't have to, just the 4 questions. Not just trust your client to, trust your homework partner to just answer however they will. Even if they don't answer, that's their answer. If you have an idea, please ask. I have an idea. Would you like to hear it? Because you're not the teacher. This is an opportunity for each of us to get still and allow our own answers to come. Because when there are our own answers, now we're in our truth, we're in our wisdom, we learn to trust ourselves. We learn to trust what's true for us and how to find it. So that's why we don't want to give people their own answers. Is it okay if I share everybody's contact information as a group?
Sure.
Yep.
Yes.
Phone numbers now?
Yeah.
Email
Yeah.
and phone number? Okay. All right, so this is big stuff. I'm going to be giving you a lot of information for you to review outside of the class because there's a lot of information and there's just not really enough time. So I'm going to send you something on, it's called Gremlins, and essentially it's just a review. Like we call these thoughts that we have little gremlins. The thought that says I'm not good enough. That's a universal belief. I think everyone on the planet has believed I'm not good enough at some time or another, and frequency and intensity. So that's our internal conversation. And this is a way to turn it around. So if you're really stuck, really ask yourself, is that true? Really, really, really true?
Yeah,
Turn it to the opposite. I'm not good enough. I am good enough. And then find very specific, authentic, genuine examples of the opposite of the thought. And that's a quick way of shifting out of the assumption and into possibility.
Out of the assumption into possibility.
Yeah. So I'll send that. Next time I'll share another exercise to turn your thoughts around. So focus on the good, use your gratitude. And next session we'll be talking about releasing control.
Okay, that's good.
So I will be sending you a lot of information in your next email. I'll send you two. One will be additional material that goes along with this session and your homework buddies and instructions, along with the meditation.
You're going to pick our buddies for us?
Would you like that? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing that I'd like to do is friend you on Facebook and let me know if you'd like that, so I can add you to the secret Facebook group called Healing with Love. And that's we're getting that started with people that I've worked with, who you can partner with. And Thursday, I'm doing a once a month check-in and review and discussion for everybody in the group. So I'll send you an invite. I'll friend you and send you an invite for that. And then Thursday at 4:30 Pacific time, there'll be a live call with a link. So if you're around and want to chime in and you have any questions, or just want to listen in. The other thing is I am very available. This is a lot of material. It's really new stuff. So I'm very available to for additional calls and emails so that you guys get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that first part, the turning the thought around, is still very bumpy for me. So
yes.
are we gonna roll back to that?
Oh yes, we will.
Okay.
And and I'm going to send you some additional information that explains. And don't expect to have it tonight. That's for sure. But I'll send you additional information with your homework. Yes.
That's good, right? This will be a good supplement.
Oh yes. Is that the big book or the
Just
little?
Loving what is.
Yes. That's the instruction guide. Yep.
Okay.
So I'll send you some helpful information on how to turn your thoughts around.
Yeah, because it's not the easiest thing. Okay.
It's not, and it takes practice, and we're going to have 8 weeks of it.
Good.
And
Great.
again, on Thursday, we can practice it too if you're around for that. So it's a different Zoom link, and it'll be on the Facebook page.
We're going to get good at that. Zoom.
Yes. Okay, so any questions, any concerns, any doubts, any fears about
all of it? Yes,
about doing this homework?
No, because we have support.
You are always supported. Your breath will always support you too.
Anchor.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So again, just feel free to get in touch with me, and I'll get back to you ASAP.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So
Good night, everyone.
There's going to be 2
Good night.
emails tomorrow.
Good night.
Homework, and then actually probably I'll wait another day or two for the curriculum for next week.
Okay.
Whee!
Hey, why not?
Okay.
Okay.
So many blessings. Thank you so much for being here together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, bye-bye.
you. Good night.